Ciao, buongiorno, come stai? Hello, good morning, how are you? This is Sharni at Hillsville Library, and today we're doing an Italian-style cooking show. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people. We are making a very hands-on recipe today. It's called Ricotta Gnocchi. So, I'll run you through the ingredients. Firstly, we've got 1 cup of flour, 400 grams of ricotta cheese, 100 grams of Parmesan cheese, 1 egg, salt and pepper. Step 1. What we need to do is strain the excess liquid out of the ricotta cheese. So we're going to do that by getting a bowl and a clean chuck swipe. We're going to pop the ricotta into the chuck swipe and then wrap it up. Grab all the ends of the chucks at the top and then twist and squeeze. Now you're not going to get much out, but it just helps. See those drips? It just helps when we're making the ricotta dough. Oh, you really got to use your muscles for this one. Okay, nice and strained. And then we'll just tip out the excess water out of the bowl because we're going to use that to create the dough. So we're going to mix the ricotta, Parmesan and egg all in this bowl together. So I'm just going to use my very clean hands and I'm going to smush all the ingredients together, squeezing the cheeses together and spreading the egg through the whole mixture. I really like doing this. This is a really fun bit. Alright, so once it's a bit smushed up together, it's going to look like this. And then we're going to grab some of our flour and sprinkle it over our board or our counter, whatever surface you've got to use, as long as it's very clean. Alright, so once we've made the flour on the board, we're going to grab our starter dough and we're going to pop it in the middle and pat it down. You can make a rectangle shape, and I like to use my hands to help me form the shapes. One hand does the spreading out, the patting, and the other hand kind of creates the border. Then we're going to go ahead and sprinkle some more flour on top. And we're going to work it in or cut it in, whatever terminology you'd like to use. But basically, it's just adding the flour into the dough, trying to get it quite even consistency. And you want your dough consistency to be pliable. Like you don't want it to be too wet, but you don't want it to be too dry. It's kind of like an activity that you have to use your intuition to know when it's ready. It's okay if it crumbles a little bit. That's okay, because you can kind of push it back together at this stage. I'm pretty happy with this. I might go one more round of flour. It's kind of like playing with Play-Doh, but edible Play-Doh. Oh yes, all right. I am pretty happy with my gnocchi dough ball. With our ball, we're going to make it into a rectangle. So we're playing with shapes now, which is quite fun. Just make sure we've got a nice thin dusting layer, and I'll take off any big bits that are stuck, but we just kind of, it's a bit messy, isn't it? All right, we're gonna pat and shape into a rectangle. You can do this any way that works for you. So just do your best to make it relatively even, and I'm going to see if I can flip it over without breaking it. Ooh, mamma mia! There it is. And I'm just going to pat the other side as well. Just want it to be a little bit thinner. Just kind of like one finger's width in height is probably perfecto. Okay, so there's my rectangle. I'm pretty happy with it. Just make sure it's not stuck. It's not, which is good. And now I'm going to get a knife and I'm going to cut the rectangle into strips. And I'm just going to shuffle my strips a little bit so that I've got some room for rolling. So the next step is to roll the strip like this. Kind of fan your fingers out and using like your palm area and some of this part of your fingers. And gently, it's got to be gentle because this stuff is getting pretty delicate now, this dough. So we're just going to gently roll it until it looks something like that, like a wriggly worm. And then maybe pat it gently down. And then take your knife again and cut into little shapes. I'm going to go for triangles, but you can do little squares if you like. You can even, if you have a funny shape, you could roll it up into a squishy little ball. It's completely up to you what shape you would like your ricotta gnocchi to be. And then we get a fork and we're just going to gently press a little indentation onto the top of the gnocchis. And this is what helps catch the sauce. So before I start rolling my next one, I'm going to place these gnocchis onto a tray lined with baking paper. Dust down again, just a tiny bit, and begin my next strip. Now, if your size hands are smaller than my size hands, and this is too big for you to roll like this, before you start rolling, you can cut your strip to whatever size suits you for rolling. Okay, so here we have all our beautiful little gnocchi pieces, and we're going to get a pot of hot water. We're going to, maybe you can get your helper to put a large pot of water on the stove, and we need to get it up to boiling point. So while the water is boiling, we're going to have to clean up this mess. So our pot of water is boiling. We're just going to add some salt, and then we're going to very gently add the ricotta gnocchi pieces. We're going to be careful here because it's very hot, and what's going to happen is the little pieces are going to fall to the bottom of the pot. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on, and that'll just keep the heat in and help the water to get boiling again, because as the water boils again, the gnocchi is going to rise up to the surface of the water. Just takes a few minutes for that to happen. While that's happening, I'll show you the sauce I've made. I've made a tomato-based pasta sauce, and that's going to go on top of our gnocchi. And it doesn't have to be served with this kind of sauce. It can be served with a cream-based sauce or a pesto sauce, maybe whatever your favorite sauce is. And Italian food, it's amazing. How about you post in the comments what your favorite Italian dish is? All right, let's have a look. They're starting to rise to the surface. So I'll be grabbing my slotted spoon so that when I fish them out, I can just drain any excess water off them and pop them on our serving plate. So for the garnishing, we're just going to sprinkle on a little bit of black pepper and a spoon of Parmesan cheese. And some parsley. I've got two varieties of parsley here. This one is curly parsley and this one is flat leaf parsley. I'm going to choose curly parsley today. I'm going to pop that right in the center. It's like the centerpiece of the dish. So here we have it, ricotta gnocchi. And now for the taste test. Some sauce on my gnocchi. Bellissimo. Delicious. Italian food. If you'd like to learn the Italian language, you could look on our website. We have a language app called Mango Languages, and you could learn some Italian words there. Thanks for watching the cooking show, and we'll see you next time.